Montana at night was the start of her plight, with an internet frail as glass. Mike made a mistake and he lost his tape, and we just about kicked his ass. Sure, it wasn't his fault, we're recording an alternate take of us seeing the park. We'll give her a go and let's start the show, so here we come, full of snark.
Hey guys, Mass Bandit here, and this is episode 31 of Planet Brocoaster. As always, I have my bro N7 with me today.
Episode 31, take 3, go.
Yeah. Why did he say that? Because this is literally our third time trying to record this damn episode that was supposed to come out today, and here we are sitting here recording it again. And with me, I have our very special guest. We do.
Amazing.
Thanks. We do. We have our very, very special guest. We teased him in episode 30. We have with us today Mr. Wings and Strings. Say hey and introduce yourself. That's right. We hired a banjo.
That's right.
Hello.
Hello. That was fantastic. So you're clearly
That's amazing.
musical too. Wow. It's like I didn't know that already.
No,
Yeah, he's better than you, honestly.
it's not like
Yeah,
I didn't.
for sure.
It's not like I didn't play that in the first 3 hours of botched recordings. Because we had the 2 hours of the one that we got all the way through, and then we had about 58 minutes before.
Yep.
Was it really that long?
Yeah,
It was a long
Holy
time.
crap. Yeah, we're clearly getting a behind-the-scenes view of how craptastic Brocoaster
Yeah,
can
Cliff
be
Notes.
sometimes. Woo!
Oh,
But we are still extremely excited by everything that Wings and Strings was able to produce for us in, 10 days? That's about how long you had?
yeah, whatever's left.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say it's significantly smaller.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Cliff Notes again. So, if you detect a bit of saltiness, it might be because Wings and Strings lost a lot of his cars.
Which is that's fine.
But
It's
they're awesome.
fine. Yeah,
And
that's when you feel good about it, is when we say it's fine.
That's right, yeah.
You saved enough to give the indication that cars exist in this timeline. That's totally okay.
I thought you meant you
yeah.
were sitting in the Ferris wheel of No Name Landia. I was like, what the fuck are you doing over there?
we need a disambiguation page for that. Come on.
Sorry, it's the grinding Ferris wheel. Does that help?
That sounds
It-
dirty.
It could have been a name. You gave the
The
actual.
cuddle wheel.
Oh, we gotta name the Ferris wheel the Grinder now. Oh, can you incorporate Grinder into Southside somehow?
Probably. Yeah, we can have grinders. We can sell grinders.
Oh, there you go. Grinders and hoe.
dude.
Grinders and hoe keys. Yeah, we're going to let Wings and Strings kind of direct us here. We are in this tunnel that did not exist pre-episode 31.
And
Right.
we're on a 2-lane highway that didn't exist. So if we
Oh,
come out of
yeah.
the tunnel and look back at it, this was. Yeah, this is just a little Art Deco tunnel facade based on some that I've seen in Colorado. This is the first of many Colorado references. So if you want to put a ticker up.
Colorado
20
ticker.
plays it. Ding.
Ding.
Yep.
I love this tunnel. I think
Yeah.
I said it before. I'll say it again. I love this tunnel. I think it's awesome. Very well done.
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted something because this area was completely unfinished when I got the park a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make something to give the indication that, well, this tunnel and the area around it, if you keep going down a little bit, just giving the indication that there's a world beyond the park that is accessible and it goes places and it has stuff.
Nice.
It
And I
goes
see a
places
Boulder
and it
Creek.
has stuff.
Then we keep going down to this little plaque on the side of the road next to
Oh yeah.
the last surviving Ford Bronco after the
Aww.
Great Bronco Massacre of '89.
The Great Bronco Massacre of 15 minutes ago.
So this was gonna be a whole bunch of things. It was originally however you pronounce it.
That was a good effort. Much better than your
Good
first.
John.
It was Le Voyageur.
Yeah, make sure you get it nice and wet.
It was originally that. And then you took it out, and there were these big gashes in the earth. And rather than just pave them over, I thought, wouldn't it be neat to have, like, sort of a... If it was built on national park land, and it's just like an abandoned coaster falling apart. And then I showed it to John and Mike, and I was like, hey, look at this. And you...
The part czar over here decided that, no, that's not going to...
Yeah, part czar said no way.
That's before you appointed yourself part czar. This is... You just... You
just said
didn't like the look of like a creepy abandoned
Of a derelict coaster.
Yeah.
I love that this is a specific reference to a previous episode.
Yeah.
Here lies
now Bummer
Hopes and
Flats.
dreams.
Yep, there they are.
Yep.
Out in that field. Dead.
And then on the other side of the highway, I just put a little visitor center here for Boulder Falls. And on the right, you have the Falls Trail, which leads you back to the area we were. And on the left, there's a Summit Trail, which even though this was made before 1.4, you were able to not move the terrain, but paint the terrain all the way out to the edge of the park. And so what I did is I just painted a trail all the way up to the top.
All right, I'm going to try and look at the vista. Hopefully my computer doesn't crash. Here we go.
Yep, we're going up to Boulder Summit, the finest view of No Name Landia.
Please clap. I love the
I still love that
snarky
Jeb
comedy.
reference.
Yeah,
That isn't.
Jeb got a job working in the National Park Service now.
All right, and then this highway dead ends into a parking lot that is weirdly empty.
Yeah.
It
Where's
wasn't
all the cars?
a while ago.
Poor Wings and Strings. He made for us. He needs to have 2 wreaths over here. All right.
Yes.
If you look in the parking lot, there's the wreaths.
I made this parking lot. I filled it, not even to the brim. I just put like 20 cars down.
Yeah, there weren't that many.
And they're all gone. And now I'm dead. And that's how you remember me.
We remember him fondly. Wings and Strings.
It effing killed him.
Press X to pay respects.
Mm-hmm. We should put
All
a
right.
sec. We should put.
We did leave some cars.
You should
So
put
let's take
one.
a look
You should
at.
put one in empty space, saying, and if he made or the cars he made would have gone here.
Let's look at the bathroom first, because this is actually this is your spawn point now. Rather than having peeps walking from the corner of the map down a highway, which would be weird.
Oh, is it?
Isn't it? I believe so. Oh no, it isn't. It's still a giant tunnel.
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
this is before I could make a spawn point. So there's a giant tunnel.
Holy crap!
It's so creepy digging into this tunnel. I feel like I'm gonna get killed. Let's take a look at this asshole here.
Yeah, so
That's where
of
Mike parks.
Yeah, of the few cars that did get to stay, you kept the douchebag who double parked in the blue spaces with
That's
4
amazing.
tickets and a boot.
I love the boot.
Yeah, the boot is great. It's the details on the boot are outstanding.
It's one of those things. I think you said you kept this in here because it told a story. Mm-hmm. And yeah,
Yes.
I want to find out what happened. Is this a regular attendee? Did the police just say like, well, you know what? If he wants to park there, he's parking there.
Huh.
I
I wonder. Yeah, who is this guy? Did he die in the park? Do we have a death in No Name Landia?
4 tickets is a lot, and if so, where did he die?
So many questions, but we have some people who are responsible and parked with their placards.
Yeah, so the cars that were here, if they parked legally in a blue space, they had their blue placards out. If they parked in priority, they had a green placard. And there was another car behind the bathroom that tried to double park, and he got a ticket as well. But that's all gone now.
All gone. Sorry.
Hey, your bike rack is still there.
Yay!
Yeah, the bike rack's still there.
So if you wanted to bike
It's 2
from...
pieces. You can do 2 pieces.
I feel like I've gotten to know you guys, and you know what they say, like, familiarity breeds, contempt. But
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh my!
that's how it goes.
I can't believe you kept the chain link fence by the staff.
Oh, did I?
log.
Oh no, that wasn't supposed to happen.
That's like 15. You could have deleted
Wait, by
that
where?
and kept half.
1689. Goodbye.
Oh, where's
You
that?
could have kept like 5 of my cars and just gotten rid of that.
No, we're getting rid of that too. Don't worry, and we're getting rid of the cars.
It's okay. Everything must go.
Yeah, well, and
fire
Goosefest had to be scaled back a little bit too.
Yeah, so there were originally 4 of these galloping geese motor cars.
Yeah, explain the story behind these, because I had no idea what these were.
So in the 1930s, the Rio Grande Southern Railroad was hit hard by the Depression, and they couldn't afford to run like a steam-pulled passenger service because you have to fire up an engine, get a bunch of coaching stock. So to handle the lighter loads, they took a bunch of Buick and Pierce Arrow automobiles and just haphazardly transformed them into rail cars with like boxcars sticking off the tail. And they're
That's
weird.
so amazing.
Yeah, they're like weird handmade suspension made them waddle. And so people called them, galloping geese.
Oh, so they're just
Ah, see?
retrofitted cars put on rail.
Yep.
And this whole engine house here.
Yeah,
is
we got
engine
to step
is
in
the
here.
main. It's like you were. We originally said, "Come join us to do your train biz." In fact, you reached out to us.
before I went AWOL and made all the other
Yeah.
stuff.
But you reached out to us and said, "Hey, you want me to tackle your trains?" And we're like, "Yes." And you had already sent us a train house. Now, did you use the one you sent us, or did you make a new one?
This is the same one. I adjusted the yard lead tracks to make it fit a smaller space.
And the yard lead
'cause-
tracks, okay, are the
Yeah, so like the switch tracks out here in front, I shortened them up a bit so they'd. And also, if you look at these switch tracks, if you just clip railroad tracks into each other in the game, the ties will overlap and it doesn't look right.
Right.
So what I did is I buried the tracks up to the bottom of the rail, and then laid my own switch ties and guardrails.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is why I had to get a little crazier with the with the part count czarring.
Yeah, your
It looks
switches
amazing,
here are
though.
1,100 pieces.
Well, no,
What?
that's including the engine house. Don't you?
Oh, okay.
Don't
Okay,
don't you
okay.
don't you dare.
All right.
Don't-
I was a little
don't do it.
confused. So, all right. Well, let's
Yeah,
step
no.
inside
All right,
the
back
engine
to-
house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so inside here is, I just patterned it off of a mix of old and new tech, because these kind of buildings, even if it is like a modern building like this, they tended to gather up a bunch of old machinery because you're working on really old, like sometimes 100-year-old parts, and oftentimes the machinery is just as old, if not older. Like if you look at the back, or if you look overhead first, there's this overhead belt drive for all of the old machinery here.
Yeah.
And that runs off of a stationary boiler and engine in the back.
The
And
Leviathan. Oh, wait, no.
yeah, the Leviathan.
That's the boiler.
This is-
Oh, and then the
And
engine
boilers
is the
across it.
Leviathan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a little nod to Reginald, the person behind the park,
Yes.
supposedly.
Yes. He's
Is
like
his dog
third
going to be named
generation.
Leviathan?
Oh, that's a good idea.
No, his dog's named Indiana.
Is his name Reginald Jones?
I think it's Derby Stand.
Derps. Wonderful. Thank you for that mouthful of word.
I'm sorry, Reginald Derby Stand. Love tall ships and engines.
The neat thing about this is if you look at it at night, it has that really eerie, dingy, like machine shop lighting to it. Just like
Oh, it
kind
does.
of
wow.
dim, eerie fluorescent
The
lights.
boiler glows. Look at that.
This is definitely
There's-
murdery
You
right
can see
here.
the murdery,
Murdery. Yes, this is murdery lighting.
murderesque.
Yeah, but so
What are all
So
these
this has-
machines?
Yeah.
So this is just a little sampling of some machinery that would be used to maintain and operate live steam locomotives. So the red thing right next to the stationary engine is a mechanical forge, and then the green thing right next to it is a sheet metal press. The yellow thing is a gantry, because normally you would want an inspection pit to be able to walk and do maintenance underneath the engines. Because
Right.
this was all laid as one slab, because you can't get rid of the cross ties between the rails. I just added a gantry so that the engines can be lifted off of their frames.
Oh.
No, I
do
just
work
would have
on the other
assumed
side.
you'd make your own rails, so.
I should have done that.
No. The end game
No,
stuff
it's-
is fine.
Yeah, and then on the back here in the corner, there's a lathe for machining parts out of
I love that
metal
lathe.
stock.
That's so cool.
That's cool.
Thank you. It's actually patterned off the one that I used in my machine shop class.
Nice.
Well, there you go.
Oh, and you've even got like gas tanks here.
Yeah, there's an acetylene tank for welding. There's
Nice.
several of these red barrels, which we'll talk about those in a bit.
Yeah.
Ding ding.
Ding, ding,
The
ding, ding.
ubiquitous red barrels.
Damn.
This is incredible.
All right.
The detail here is just stunning.
Ding ding. Red barrels.
Oh, there's
Yep,
two
so
more.
there's two more up here. So this is Rubel's Bridge. I got his name right this time.
Yay!
Yeah, I called him Kinderly in the last recording attempt by mistake.
We can tell Rubel that his bridge is safe. It's only 437 parts. It passes muster.
Passes a smell test. They told me don't mess with the bridge, so instead of touching the bridge, which was only the arch underneath the track, I just went in and made it a bit safer by adding this like railroad style deck to it. And these
Yeah.
fire barrels, these are full of water and used for fire service because a general mantra is that if you're a railroad and you build a structure out of wood, you have to assume that at some point it's going to catch on fire. So these are here just as a safety precaution. If you catch it soon enough, you can, run up there with a pump and put it out before you have to replace
And
the
they are
entire bridge.
positioned strategically throughout the entire train route.
They're
time there's
positioned
wood,
at
yeah.
all of the wooden bridges, yes.
Oh, okay, cool. And now,
All right. I feel like we got to jump down a little bit here.
yeah, let's talk
Yeah.
about
So-
this
So
pumps.
this was originally just a hole in the ground with some water in it. It became a multitude of things. This is both a treatment facility for the water. It is a pumping station. You can see there's these 3 centrifugal hydro pumps here. And
Those are
then it's
insane.
thank you. And then there's also storage tanks for the Rapids ride
That's so
because
cool.
if it was a ride like Grizzly River Run where most of the water is at the base of the lift hill, you don't need separate tanks to store it because it all just flows into the bottom. But because most of the ride is above the lift hill in this, it has to be able to drain to somewhere when you turn the pumps off. And so that's why this tank is here.
That's so cool.
Ah.
Yeah.
I'm understanding it better hearing it again for the third time.
Second time, we didn't make it here. First time.
Okay.
And then
okay.
you'll notice there's hazmat placards on the buildings as well. So
Yeah. So you got propane.
yeah, this is the 140 is the hazmat placard for propane. The blue number is for like a general health hazard. So it's you shouldn't be like ingesting it, but it's
Huffing it?
not that bad. Yeah. Red is flammability, so definitely don't go running in there with a leaky pipe and a match.
Is this
Oh.
based on 1 through 5, or is this?
I think I've seen a
0
5
through.
on these. I just googled propane hazmat.
What the hell
and
would
saw
be
what
more
came up.
flammable than propane?
Gasoline.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say kerosene probably, but
Yeah.
Okay.
and then the yellow is stability, and
Oh.
since if something's radioactive or it decomposes on its own, it'll be a higher number. But propane is relatively stable.
God, see, you all learned something today on Brocoaster. I hope you're happy.
Welcome to
Do-do-do-do.
Brocoaster. Yeah. We've already used that bit, unfortunately.
Well, we've already recorded this twice, unfortunately.
Shut up! All right.
All right, and then right next to it is actually a very unusual addition that I haven't seen in other parks. This cave that the Rapids
Oh.
ride goes through is
Yeah, yeah.
artificial now, because I think, Mike, it was you who said, like, hey, can you make this into a building? And I was like, at first I didn't know what you meant, but then we just started talking about it, and it's like, oh, okay, so it's like an artificial structure that's then backfilled with earth.
Yep.
And so what you
exactly.
can see here is On top, it's just the concrete roof with more drainage.
I
And
love.
pipes
I think
to
my
feed the
favorite
water.
part is that drainage trench that goes into
Yeah.
the water.
Oh, that goes
feature.
into the
That's
water.
freaking
Yeah.
awesome.
That's incredible.
Thank you. And then there's seriously, thank you. It's been a pleasure to be able to work on this park with you guys.
I'm glad that that's the takeaway. After everything
Yeah.
that we've put you
Yeah.
through, that's the takeaway.
I said it's been a pleasure to work on the park, not record.
Detail.
There's the jab.
3 times.
Oh, my heart.
And then there's another little area here that has a side door and you know, walkway and stairs to get to the roof. And you'll notice there's another placard here, and you might be wondering, okay, why is this here? What's flammable? Remember the campfire on the inside?
Yeah.
That's now implied to be running off of a propane burner. So
Yeah,
you
I
have
see the
your-
pipes. That's cool.
Yep.
That's
And also,
awesome.
if you look on the other side, it breaks the immersion a bit, but you'll notice there's a place where the scenery material has chipped away from the roof, and you can see the concrete and rebar above it.
Well, I
So we had
missed
like an
that in the
earthquake
first time.
and
Where
it's
is
kind of
that?
fallen in. So go right across the way from the fire.
Yeah, and then look up. Okay, so this is a deck girder bridge. It's a very common design for modern railroad stuff. I did a mix of old and new, implying that later construction would be built with more modern materials, following. They wouldn't try to theme it to be like an old-timey railroad. But this is a deck girder, which means that the steel plates are resting underneath of the rails, and the track is built on top of it like a deck. A plate girder would have the steel plates like at track level, and they would sort of be on either side of the deck as like side plates, and it would bear the load that way. So a plate girder would be more for if you need a lot of vertical clearance under the bridge, like for an overpass.
Oh,
And
okay.
a deck girder is just a bit more simple to build. And then one other little thing between the steel slabs and the concrete footing are these little tiny black pieces here. These are bridge shoes, and it's a detail that most people would miss, but they're so important to the design of a bridge because they allow the abutments and the bridge span itself to be able to shift a little bit, and also to keep the underside of the girders accessible for repainting or maintenance and control
Wow.
rust and all that.
Yeah, you all didn't think you were going to get a civil engineering lesson here on Brocoaster, but
Yeah, that's
You
kinda
thought
thing
we were
I-
just gonna jerk around about theme parks.
Yeah, so this area of the rapids, while I was working on the train stuff, this area felt a little bit bare, and I felt that it needed something, so continuing with all of the other Colorado stuff I've added to the park, the tunnel, the sign at the front that says, like, you're 9 miles from Golden and 24 from Denver or something,
oh yeah.
which you could change that to, like, somewhere, comma, presumably, or...
I have no idea where this park actually is, so
I don't either.
It's near
you
one of-
write the
it's
story
near-
for us.
It's in Colorado now.
All right, wonderful.
It's about 9 miles out of Denver, or out of Golden, and about
Golden,
20
yeah.
something out of Denver.
Perfect.
Fair enough. so this is based on what's reported to be the most photographed place in Colorado, the Crystal Mill, which was an old powerhouse from the 1890s that ran on hydropower and powered like air compressors and mining equipment. And I felt like it really fit this area with the way it hangs over the rock ledge with
Yeah.
the waterfall next
Yeah,
to it.
it's
I love that.
I tied it. I tied it in a way that it felt like it could have been like an abandoned attraction in the park.
Yeah, it's and then I mentioned it before. I'm gonna say it again. My favorite view now in the park, it's solidified, is sitting at the Moose Knuckle, looking over
Yeah.
the rapids.
Oh, and looking over.
So good.
And you get the Intamin, and then you get the Crystal
Oh,
Mill.
you do.
It's
There's
a,
so much
Wow.
life here.
Yeah, it's-
you got the water. You got 2 waterfalls. You got one that's going down towards the splash. You got that little drain outlet. You've got the waterfall. You've got
I love
the
it.
big hyper in the
I
back.
love it. I love
So
it.
good.
And then if you even go to the edge of the patio here, you could see the little frontier town poking out. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not just in the Moose Knuckle. If you go to the path over by the Bear Creek National Forest sign, you can see the crystal mill poking out.
Do you?
Yeah, so it kind of
it reveals itself. That's really cool.
Yeah. And then if you also walk past one of the things that John added, Danny Tanner's fine leather.
We'll get there.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna fly over here
everywhere
real
you
quick.
look, you can see the mill.
Yeah, it's created a nice little focal point.
Yeah,
I'm not
it really
gonna say
has.
weenie because I don't think it's tall enough to be a weenie, but it's certainly like a set piece that is gluing this whole area together, basically.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the oldest things in the area, it feels like, and things have grown up around it.